What if you could be a fly on the wall in a celestial war room, a place where beings of incredible power are hashing out the fate of all humanity? Well, that's exactly what we're doing today. We're diving into a high-stakes strategy session, breaking down their wild new plan to fight back against these entities known only as the Tempters. So, here's how their plan breaks down. We'll start with a huge turning point that made all of this possible. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty, their three main lines of attack, targeting our screens, our vices, and even our food. And we'll wrap it all up by asking a pretty heavy question. What's the real cost of a war where the human soul is the battlefield?
You know, every big war has a turning point, right? A single moment where everything just shifts. Well, for this Cosmic Council, that moment is now. After what feels like an eternity of fighting, their enemy, the Tempters, are finally on the back foot.
And here's why. One of the council members, Lord Blue, drops some bombshell news. Turns out, regular old human courts are starting to find the Tempters guilty. People are finally seeing them for what they are. This is huge, because it cuts the Tempters off from their hosts, from us.
Okay, but a win like this, it comes with a new problem. A big one. Now you've got these roaming packs of hungry, desperate demons on the loose, looking for anyone they can feed on. So this isn't the end of the war. It's the start of a much messier, more chaotic chapter that needs a brand new strategy, and fast.
As Lord Blue puts it, this just cranked the battle between light and dark up to a whole new level. The stakes are higher than ever. So the Council has to figure out how to press this advantage, and they decide to go after the Tempters' #1 weapon for controlling humanity. And where do they start? Right where you'd probably expect. Our screens. The Council doesn't just see phones and TVs and laptops. They see them as the main pipeline that Tempters use to manipulate and essentially to farm human souls for energy. So this is the real problem they're trying to solve. How do you stop this constant flood of, spiritual junk food? All the violent, twisted, terrifying stuff in our media that the Tempters use to reprogram us and get us to produce the negative energy they live on. Their mission is to shut down this digital food supply, once and for all. And right away, you see two totally different philosophies at play here. Lord Blue wants to be subtle, almost surgical. His idea? Use solar flares to create this tiny flicker in our screens that gives people headaches and makes them not want to watch. Then you've got Lord Green, who's basically like, forget that, let's just cause a massive earthquake in California and wipe out the entire movie industry. Yeah, it's a real clash of styles, finesse versus brute force.
But you know, the problem goes way deeper than just the technology. It's about us. It's about our habits. The Council points out that parents themselves are spending over 6 hours a day glued to their screens, and they don't even see it as an issue. So the real goal isn't just to make screens physically painful, it's to wake people up to the manipulation so they actually choose to protect their own minds.
All right, next up on the Council's hit list, human vices. We're talking about things like alcohol, drugs, and cigarettes. They don't see these as just bad habits. Oh no. To them, these are purpose-built weapons, designed by the Tempters to weaken us and keep us under control.
And their counter-strategy is, it's kind of genius in a terrifying way. Take alcohol. They plan to roll out this amazing immune system boost, but get this, it only works if you don't drink. So drinkers just get sick. For drugs, their plan is to just let them become way more lethal. Let fear be the teacher. And for new things like vaping, where the danger isn't obvious yet, they'll just speed up the clock and make the horrible health effects happen way, way faster.
And here we go again, right back to that fundamental disagreement. Lord Blue raises a really good point. Hey, people use this stuff to cope with stress. If we just yank the crutch away without fixing the stress, they're just going to collapse. And Lord Green's solution? It's intense. He suggests using shock treatment. Massive earthquakes, crazy storms, to basically scare people so much that they forget all about their personal problems. It's therapy versus terror, really.
Okay, on to the third and final battleground, what we eat. The Council looks at our modern diet, all the sugar, the fat, the chemicals, the processed junk, and they see another massive weak spot that the Tempters are just loving.
The real trick the Tempters use here is the time lag. You eat badly today, but you don't really pay the price for years, maybe even decades, so it's easy to just ignore it. The Tempters market this poison as comfort food. They rebrand being unhealthy as just another lifestyle choice, and all the while, people can't connect the dots between what they're eating and why they feel so terrible. So, how do you fix that time lag problem? Well, Lord Green's idea is pretty straightforward. Instant karma. You eat that junk food, you get sick. Immediately. Maybe even fatally. Simple, right? But Lord Blue steps in again, reminding everyone, whoa, hang on, are we trying to save them or wipe them out? There's got to be a line between a clear, sharp warning and, well, total extinction.
So, as you can see, this whole Cosmic War Council is walking a tightrope. Their plans are incredibly bold, but they're constantly teetering on that razor's edge between saving humanity and just destroying it. And it really exposes this deep philosophical divide between the strategists themselves.
And this quote from Lord Blue just perfectly captures the whole moral dilemma. He says to Lord Green, "Your solutions always seem to end with humans dying. You're not wrong about the effect, but the price is high. Too high if we're trying to save them." He admits the brutal plans would probably work. But he's asking, at what cost? Is it really a victory if you have to burn the village down just to save it? But in the end, despite all the back and forth, the direction is clear. The plan, harsh as it is all about one thing: closing the gap between action and consequence. They're going to make feeding the tempters so immediately and obviously painful that humanity is left with absolutely no choice but to break free. Which leaves us with this final, kind of chilling thought to chew on. In a war for our very souls, where the weapons being used are fear and pain and instant karma itself, what is the real cost of victory? What does winning even look like?